All right, man, we're about to close her out. We are about to close her out with a little bit of game of you woke, I'm asleep. You woke the woke, and I'm asleep. Now, when we go on hiatus, I think this is episode 197, so we are two away from the hiatus. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, this is episode 197. So, yeah, once we go on hiatus, we're still going to keep you woke. I'm asleep. The podcast itself is not going to change too much. It's going to change some, but it's not. It's not going to be as different as you all think. Just going to try some different stuff, man. That's what I like to do here. Now let's get to you. Welcome sleep. What was all this like? Okay, people liking my story. What do we have good idea? Anytime I see posts like this, I gotta respond, right? Then where my hug N words turned into them podcast N words that don't like women. All right, I can't speak to those podcast people who don't like women. Um, I can't really speak to where my hug dudes at, because after a while, I get weird. Like, what we hugging for? Why you gonna hug? Like, no, get on my face. Oh shit, she gave me a hug. Big whoop. But anyway. You people with no podcast love to bash people with podcasts. Guess what? Don't listen. Easy. If you don't think somebody should have a podcast, if you think what they're talking about is corny, don't listen. No sweat off our backs. That's just from the podcast community. I just elected myself spokesperson of the podcast community. But on to the guys who don't like women. Guess what? There are a lot of guys who have felt like they've been scorned by women. They've been looked over by women, and they just want their revenge. It's called Revenge of the Nerds. And not to defend these guys, but guess what? There are women who have been scorned by men, and they want their revenge, and they go about it in different ways. And I don't really consume these anti-women podcasts because I have a life and like to consume podcasts that actually provide understanding on topics that I'm interested in, or bring topics to me that I didn't know existed. Teach me something. That's kind of what I go for personally. But these podcasts exist, and you know about them because somebody wants to hear them. And because somebody wants to hear them, that means they are speaking to something that's valid. And I guess to down these guys for being weirdos, socially awkward, not the most ladies men, quarterback type, guy who gets to girls. I guess if that makes you feel better, have at it. But they just want their get back. It's Revenge of the Nerds. Like, look at what's happening in our society. Dating has become a swipe right, swipe left thing, more so than a hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? Like, shit. I did the whole piece on where do you date and how do you meet your significant other, because it seems like everywhere you go to try to meet somebody, that's the wrong thing. We can't speak to people. In the same way you have these guys who go in here and bash these women and talk crazy about them, and then go trick off and pay for them because they ain't got no pimping, they can't talk, they ain't got no Mac, they ain't got no game, they ain't fly, they ain't cool, they ain't even funny when they get around a woman because they freeze up because they have no confidence in themselves. You got women over here saying, "Oh no, I only go out to be with my girls. I don't want any male attention." Oh, but he fine. Bruh, everybody, there's space for everybody in entertainment. And honestly, with this Revenge of the Nerds that I talk about, is there are voices that were silenced by the powers that be because it was so hard to break in. It was so hard to get your message out there. And now these voices that were once silenced have an opportunity and they have platforms to put their point of view out there. And there are people who relate to them. And just as much as you want to pick on somebody like Fresh and Fit, or even throw academics into that category, which I don't think academics is a woman basher. I honestly think that you should just not listen to it and find the things that are more reflective of what you're into, because there's a podcast out there for everybody. Any and everybody. There is a podcast out there for you. I'm telling you, black women, there are podcasts out there for you. Just know this one ain't it. No offense to y'all, but y'all don't like me.